The qualifications for deacons are listed very plainly in 1 Timothy chapter 3, verses 8 to 12. So Paul first lists the qualifications for the office of elder, pastor, overseer in verses 1 to 7, and then he follows with the qualifications for the office of deacon. And I actually think that order matters. There's a sense in which we see both the priority of the office of elder because it comes first, but also the inseparability of the two offices together. It's almost like Paul doesn't want us to catch our breath lest we miss the connection between the two offices. So we move from elders to deacons. And the primary difference between the two qualification lists is that an elder must be able to teach, whereas that's not necessarily the case for deacons. I mean, a deacon can be a wonderful preacher, but that's not, or teacher, but that's not a prerequisite for the role. The most striking thing about the qualifications is that it's not a skill set. The focus is not on competence. The focus is on character, which is a great reminder to us that so often gifting can outrun character, and we can be enamored with the wrong thing. And so I'm struck as I look through all of the qualifications you see there in those verses. It touches on every aspect of the prospective deacon's life, from the home, in the community, and into the household of God, the local church. And at the beginning of my answer, I said that the diaconal qualifications were verses 8 to 12. And maybe there's a really astute listener out there who's thinking, I was just studying that passage. No, it's through verse 13. Well, here's what I love. Verse 13 is about deacons, but it's not a qualification. When Paul gives the qualifications for the elders, he just gives the qualifications and then he moves on. He doesn't include any kind of promise to elders. But at the end of his list of qualifications for deacons, he adds a promise, which I just have to imagine, like, why did he do that? Well, maybe because diaconal work, by its very nature, is often the kind of thing that is overlooked. Deacons can feel underappreciated. Deacon work is grunt work, not kind of stage work. And so I just imagine Paul making eye contact, as it were, through deacons throughout history and saying, yes, and here's a promise. Those, 1 Timothy 3:13, those who serve well as deacons will gain a good standing for themselves and great boldness in the faith that is in Christ Jesus. In other words, if you serve faithfully as a deacon, you're going to experience two things in increasing measure. One is going to come to you horizontally from the church, and that is respect. The other is going to descend vertically from God, and that is great boldness in your faith. And I think that's meant to put wind in the sails of any deacon who might be tempted to lose heart and be discouraged and not see the immediate or visible fruit of their ministry. The apostle wants to say, your labor for the Lord is not in vain. Keep it up.